Hold on.
Some good music right there.
Let's not be quiet. We don't want to get DC.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're supposed to be talking, right? Talking smack to each other.
We're going to the. We're going for
been so
the
long, I don't remember how to talk.
Right.
Ginger Witcher.
Where yeah, there is. Who was the Ginger Witcher? Was that Lambert? Is Lambert the Ginger Witcher?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
I don't know all of their names, but I think I know which one you're talking about. The one that was picking on Siri at first.
Yeah, I think it was Lambert.
I want to punch him in the face.
Adam Lambert.
He would punch you.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
He would
I'd be
punch you
able
back.
to loss. That's for
What's
sure.
up, guys?
That was
Oh.
a hard.
It
You know,
was. I don't
look
know
how-
why it didn't fade it. That's weird.
Look how rusty he is. It's not just me. It's not just me, huh?
I know I didn't even have my button ready.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, normally when Shane does it, it's such a hard cut, and so I always have something ready for it to drop as soon as he drops out.
I just try and make sure that Guess Who's Back looks really good, but unfortunately he let me down. So
He looks good. He's back.
You know, I'm just trying to make sure that when I'm not here, that they don't like judge you. That's all it is.
I appreciate that. There's a lot of judgment going on. Did you guys see the entire Witcher shelf now?
Oh no, I didn't.
It's
No,
entirely
what?
Witcher now.
Echoey.
Who's echoing?
I'm gonna not talk loud. I just heard myself echoing somebody's stuff. So.
Yeah, we did some remodeling, so it's all Witcher now.
Yeah.
I'm doing remodeling too, but
you're doing a lot of remodeling.
I did get a glimpse of your shirt. I saw it, just so you know.
Oh my god.
Not feeling.
Oh my
just
god.
Shane.
You know what?
Happy New Year.
We're like 30 seconds into the first podcast of the new year, and I'm already annoyed.
Episode 8.
You see, it's not. Let me see if this works. Tell me if you guys can hear this. See if this works. Okay, it's just on my end.
For the audio listeners, he's just on my end. Something and it didn't work.
Yeah, no, I pushed a button. I'm supposed to be able to play like you have expressions.
Yeah,
it didn't work.
Nope.
We're still trying to figure out all this new tech. Okay, so far it's defeating.
You should have YouTubed it first before the video.
Bonnie, I like to learn things as we go. Okay.
He does. He really does.
I did make Jared get on with me earlier and at least do a rundown. So
how do I live?
But if this thing goes,
wasn't even set up.
If this thing goes robotic, I'm gonna rip it out of the wall. You will see me like tear this entire thing apart. So
that would be the best.
Okay. So we are the Marauders, and we are back for the New Year's. How are you guys doing? How was your New Year's?
Yeah, Happy New Year's, everybody.
It's 2022.
Well, being is that I was flying back from Orlando on New Year's Eve because I just came back from Disney. I'm fine.
Well, you rub that in everybody's face.
Smile.
So happy for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I hope y'all watched the video to see my pure joy on that ride.
I saw it. I didn't listen. I was watching it because we were already at church and I didn't have headphones, but I definitely got to watch it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm glad I did it in the order that I did it because the first two rides that I did in Star Wars were simulations. So the first ride, Star Tours, was kind of like this big, huge chair. Imagine like a big roller coaster chair, but a bunch of people sitting, maybe about 16 people sitting in it. And you had 3D glasses and you went on this little thing and the chair is moving and doing this, that, and the other. And so that was cool. And then the next thing I did was the flying the Millennium Falcon. And of course, that's a simulation too, but no 3D glasses. You kind of get to sit in the cockpit. You got gunners, you got engineers, and you got pilots. But the Rise of Resistance was top flight, probably one of the best rides I've been on. And it's not just a ride, it's an experience because the wait was about 2 hours. The first day was 4 hours and I didn't do that. But the second day we bared through it for the 2 hours. And then once you get into the briefing room, that's when the experience starts. And from that point, that whole ride is about 20 minutes. So yeah, it was crazy.
It looked cool, especially the pictures you sent. those were pretty stinking awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoyed myself for what I was able to do. I really have to credit Sarah because I bailed on them on second day, and I was like, listen, I know that you guys probably have some sort of plan, but I have to ride this ride.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even an option.
Yeah, and I said, listen, if you're gonna be upset, I won't do it. She said, I'm not gonna be upset. Go ahead. And so we did. It was great.
I need to go, and one of us needs to go and build a freaking lightsaber. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
What I mean, two of us have gone now, and neither of you have built a lightsaber. And
that's,
you know,
I bought one, so I was.
I heard the experience is different now because of COVID. Like you have to point and tell them what you want.
They build it for you. It's not like you get to build it.
That takes away from it too.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
That's the whole thing, is getting to put your own crystal in and all that stuff.
Yeah, stupid COVID. Maybe in the 10 years, maybe by the time I go, like in the 2040s.
When you're old and retired.
Yeah. You know, when I'm like 80.
When the only person going is you.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? That would be like, if there was a way where they could be like, hey, you can go and no one else will be here, sign me up right now. Right now. I'd go in a heartbeat.
Okay. So he got to do that. He's got his facts not feeling shirt on.
Yeah, which is
yay.
He's got a cool jacket, stupid shirt.
I didn't even get a good shot of the jacket.
The jacket is sick. The jacket is sick. Like legitimately, it's great, but his shirt is really dumb.
That's just because your feelings are hurt.
Because there's no facts from him. Like everything he says is a feeling. Okay? Stupid shirt. It's a stupid shirt. Look at that. He's so embarrassed by it, he can't even turn his camera on. Yeah.
You couldn't defend yourself.
I know y'all was talking. Listen. We already know that the Ginger Witcher is gonna say bad things when I'm not available to defend myself.
Look, I'll say it when you are here to defend yourself. It's a stupid shirt. It's a stupid shirt because everything that comes out of your mouth is a feeling, not a fact. It's a stupid shirt. $1
billion is a fact.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things that make $1 billion and still suck.
It's a fact.
Okay? Look at episode 9.
All I said look at Jeff Bezos.
All I said was it made $1 billion. That's what I said. That's a fact. You can look that up. So
is that your only that's what you base a good movie on? Is it made $1 billion?
Nope, not at all.
It's dumb.
It wasn't.
It's dumb.
$1 billion.
Okay. So let's go on and let's talk about something that could have made $1 billion. I don't know if we haven't got there yet. Let's talk about Spider-Man.
I got to be close.
Spider-Man. I'm looking it up right now.
It did.
It did hit it.
Yeah. It did make.
It made $500 million the first weekend, worldwide, not domestic.
1.05 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just barely. It just hit over.
Yeah, but you're talking about domestically though, because it's not released in China, so that's a big, huge accomplishment.
And during the pandemic,
right?
That's. I mean, that's like $1 trillion in non-pandemic money.
Because it didn't release in China.
And the other thing too is the reason why that's a big deal is because that is what forced them to halt Morbius, which nobody cares about. So
no one cares about that.
I'm excited.
You're excited that they pushed it back?
No, about Morbius.
Bonnie's going to be the only one in that theater.
Probably.
Hands down.
I like vampires.
Her and John Campia, the only two.
I'm not going to watch it in theater.
No,
I
probably won't watch it, period.
I support some movies in theaters. I don't know if I'll watch it either in theaters.
No, listen, I fell for it on watching Venom in theaters. I will not watch Morbius in theaters.
I never watched that one.
When honestly, the first trailer,
can't call yourself a Marvel
and he goes, and I make a joke about this all the time, but when he goes, some sort of bat radar, and I'm like, this is supposed to be like the smartest guy in the world, and he doesn't know what sonar is.
Listen, he's a doctor, and doctors say crap stupid all the time.
I feel like they hired writers from episode 8.
Just
saying.
Now we just talked about facts versus feelings.
I said I feel. That's a feeling. Feel. Right. I said I feel like they hired. I didn't say facts. I said feel.
I wish that we could do a drinking game. So every time Shane says feel, we take a shot.
Only if we can drink when he says facts.
But here's the problem though, Shane.
Is there a problem?
the fact is that The Last Jedi was
I love
one
that
of the best scripts that Star Wars has ever had.
Look,
and that
look, you can do all the drugs you want and you can spout all the nonsense you want. It doesn't make it reality. It was garbage. It was a steaming pile of garbage. And just because you think it's unique, like it doesn't make it a good movie. Like it doesn't. Okay.
Happy New Year, y'all. He's not gonna bait me. It's all good. We love y'all. Happy New Year. Thank you for the Marauders.
Is it a Happy New Year? Because right now I'm already sick of this.
Do you not feel happy, Ginger?
No, I'm so sick of episode 8.
Listen, I just came from
all
the
the 10 people who think it's a great movie because it's intellectual, and he made Luke Skywalker an old man who doesn't like the Force. Like, there's nothing special about it. It's dumb.
Shane. I just came from the most magical place on earth. You would not,
and you didn't build a lightsaber, and you didn't even build a lightsaber.
I was a part of the resistance, and we saved the world. So
that's all that matters.
I'm gonna bite my tongue. The ride was probably written by your boy too.
And I'm pretty sure you didn't see Luke throw a lightsaber there, did you?
No, Luke was not in this one.
Yeah, they couldn't afford him.
Charge.
Okay, back to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
We're on Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
So everybody's watched this, right?
Everybody's watching.
Everybody's watched Spider-Man. Okay, so what is your favorite thing out of the whole thing? Give me one, and then we'll talk about like the actual movie itself. Who wants to go first?
I don't.
You don't want to go first?
We should let Facts go first.
What is my favorite thing? There was a lot of good stuff in there.
I didn't have like one moment.
I did like when MJ tells what's his face about the Just for Men.
Okay, I do have. I'll go first just to get mine out the way. I think my favorite thing was how they introduced Andrew Garfield. And this is around the same scene. Once Tobey Maguire was there, and he asked him, did he have a Spider-Man suit, or because he was looking like a youth pastor. I thought that was great.
That was a great line for sure.
Solid. My favorite was the interaction with them on top of the Statue of Liberty. That whole interaction there. That I don't know, it was like 2 minutes, a minute or two, like that.
You're talking about when he goes, "I'm part of the Avengers," and there was like, "Is that a band?"
It's just yes, and the whole thing carried on. Like there was one point where they all pointed at each other, like the meme. Like that whole scene was just gold. Like
when they asked him how his stuff came out his arm.
Yeah, and they're all grossed out by it. That was so great. And he's like, "What do you mean? It doesn't just." And they were just all grossed out. And they're like, where does it come from? And like, does it shoot out of other places?
Right.
Spider-Man conversation.
So good. So good.
Yes.
It's like every meme we've seen, they were like, hey, we got to work this into the movie. Like,
yes.
We got to work.
It was good, though.
It was really good.
Or good. The other one, hey, Peter. We're all Peter. Peter Parker.
Which Peter?
We're all Peter Parker.
My Peter.
Didn't they give each other? Didn't he give them numbers?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3.
When they finally,
right?
Yes.
Poor Andrew Garfield. Y'all better leave him alone,
dude. Andrew Garfield needs to get his. If one thing came out of this for me is like I want to see Andrew Garfield's third movie, because I mean I liked his 2 movies. I want to see his third movie. Let him finish his trilogy.
Okay. See,
go ahead. Yeah. You can go first, and then
I just got to say this one thing, and then you got it.
Oh God, here we go.
The fact that he just said that he liked both of Andrew Garfield's movies is why we will never ever argue about episode 8 again. Because the second Andrew Garfield movie was trash. So you got it, Jared. That we'll never argue about episode 8 again after that.
That would actually work for me. If that's all I knew that it took, I would have done that a long time ago. Look, I mean, it to me, Andrew Garfield's movies were the closest to the comic books we've seen. Like, if you read the Amazing Spider-Man comic books, I mean, it's basically they took that and put it on screen. And I like the Amazing Spider-Man comic books. So Andrew Garfield's to me is the most comic. I'm not saying they're great.
No.
Look at the first Spider-Man trilogy. Number 3 is terrible too. But I'm just saying, like, absolutely. I like Andrew Garfield. I like his Spider-Man. I like that 100%. Version.
And that's what I was going to say.
And he's
my favorite Spider-Man. I just didn't like the second movie.
I'm not going to argue with you there.
Yeah,
like, I'm not going to defend that movie.
Yeah. I thought that Andrew Garfield, when I think of Spider-Man, even though Tom Holland is great, I love Tom Holland. With his height and everything, and him looking like a kid, and him. But to me, though, when I think of Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield fit that bill. I thought the first movie was great. I thought everything they did with the theology was great. I just didn't like the second movie, but I like him as Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so
I won't argue with you. I just want to see that trilogy finish. I think he should get another shot at it. I really
think all three of them should. I mean, I think, I get you wanted him to finish his trilogy, but I'm thinking that now that we have the Into the Spider-Verse with all the different versions of stuff, I think all of them need their own something. Like maybe Andrew Garfield can be the Sony Spider-Man for the Venom universe. I don't know.
Yeah. And look, I'd be cool with them establishing more of or carrying on with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man too. Like it'd be cool to see what happens when Spider-Man is in his 40s.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, like he's in his 40s, he's lived his life. Like when you go back to Miles Morales, and we see old Spider-Man, like he's broken up and
he fits that Spider-Man.
He fits that Spider-Man. And like look, it can't be an easy life. Like think back to Batman 3, I forget the name of it, but like when he's all broken down, he can barely walk. And so like what happens after like 15 or 20 years of fighting crime? Like show me that'd be really cool. And I don't think Tobey Maguire's the greatest Spider-Man, but his movies were awesome for when they came out. I think it'd be really neat to establish that. And
but
let's carry on.
Spider-Man heal fast? I know he doesn't heal as fast as Captain America, but
that's why
Captain America does. But I would still think his aging would slow down.
That's why he got stabbed, and he basically was just standing up. He was like, "Hey, that's happened before."
I heard he was supposed to die, and they wrote it out. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I don't know a feeling.
I would love to see a series, almost like a Into the Spider-Verse live action with them in it, cameo.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool.
Oh my god! And then you could take like pieces from the Spider-Man cartoon show that I used to watch, like in the early '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Was anybody else hoping we'd see Spider-Pig?
No,
was it just me. No. I really wanted to see live-action Spider-Pig.
No. Good.
No.
Okay.
Jerry, you were about to say something before we got into our tangent.
Oh, I was gonna say that. I mean, I felt like Garfield was better in this movie. I felt like overall, Tobey Maguire and Garfield were way better Spider-Man in this movie just because of I felt like they're better actors now than they were then. But I do like Tobey Maguire better, and it might be nostalgia a little bit, but I do know when those movies came out, I loved them, except for I didn't like the Venom that we got from the third one.
Part 3.
Yeah. That kind of trashed that one for me, but
so overall, go ahead, Bonnie. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, who all kind of got the whole Aunt May's the Ben in his Spider-Verse.
They
and did that kill you? Because that killed me.
That was a quality scene.
It was rough.
We're talking about Holland's,
yes.
Aunt May,
Aunt May,
Which
when she
I didn't like it. It hit me afterwards that I was like, "That's his."
Well,
Ben, Uncle Ben.
If that scene took you out when he saved MJ, I know that took you out too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was cool. And that was really well done. Like that was really well done because obviously that's what, that's why he has such an issue. So
yeah.
And then I thought it was neat too, because like when Aunt May dies and she gives the whole with great power comes great responsibility speech, and then as they're all three talking about it later.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's what Uncle Ben says.
Yeah.
Now I will say overall the movie is an 8 to me. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that I'm very disappointed with the trailer, meaning that they showed all of Doctor Strange's scenes minus him coming back from the portal. And I thought that was disappointing. Yeah. Shane, there is not a single Doctor Strange shot that they didn't show outside of when he returned from when Peter trapped him in the world. That was the only thing we didn't see. Every single scene that Doctor Strange was in the trailer.
Switch back over to Shane.
Like
And
sometimes I just really don't know. I don't know.
Can we
Like,
do a side by side of them?
like
two?
is Ace
I
being,
wish I could, because
is Ace
he's
being
got this.
serious right now? Like, is what are you doing over there? Are you breastfeeding? Like, put those things away.
It's a
Put those
fact
things away.
that you can
Cover
go
those
look
up.
at the trailer.
Cover those up. Nobody wants to see that. This is a PG. This is a
Shame.
PG Marauders
This is not
podcast.
PG.
Put those things away.
Shame. It's a fact.
Just, guys, it's
everything
not a
you saw in the
fact. Like, you can't just spout some random thing and be like, it's a fact because the Resistance Rebels said it.
I
you watch
agree
the
with
movie?
Resistance Rebels.
Yes.
I
Thank
was let down by the Doctor Strange thing.
Thank you. Because
Where's
everything
21?
that was in everything Doctor
Where's
Strange was
21?
in, minus the when he returned.
I'm
was
done.
in the
You're
trailer.
right.
It's because I wanted him to be Mephisto. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Just kidding.
we've talked about this a ton. Trailers, the last few years, it is ridiculous. They give so much away,
Mhm.
and I don't know why. Because I mean, it loses the hype when you actually get in the theater. And you go, okay, I knew all the characters. I already knew all the villains. What I didn't
Right.
have, I couldn't even guess.
Well,
And go, I hope this guy's here.
Right.
Here's the other thing too, right? That's the other thing. Why did you have to show the villains at all, right? Because the whole point is this: if they showed the villains, then that confirmed that Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and Tobey
Yep.
Maguire were going to be in the movie. Because
Yep.
there's nowhere in the world you're going to bring the villains in and then they don't show up.
I agree with that.
And the other thing is the international trailer showed Lizard getting punched, and it was like come on, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
it just, they really dropped the ball to me. So that's what brought it down for me, because I wasn't surprised about anything. Even Matt Murdock showing up, I knew he was gonna win. And that one's my fault, because I do listen to New Rock Stars, and they do, kind of speculate some stuff. And of course, we just got Hawkeye season finale before the movie came out, and Kingpin was in it, so that kind of just gave that away too. So I'm just saying that brought it down for me of not being as surprised. And like, if I would have went into this movie not knowing anything, this movie would have been probably a 10 or an 11 for me. But because
I agree with that.
I went into it knowing most of the surprises, that did let it down for me.
Okay. Is it my turn?
No, I just want to say something really quick.
Okay,
I'm
let
with
the oracle
Jared
go.
now, because remember Jared said that about the trailer, that last trailer. I agree with him now, because it let down so many things in the movie because that stupid trailer.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
And
they gave away way too much crap.
I mean, I know that we had me and Shane have talked about this, and I know where he's going to go. I'm gonna let you talk here in a second.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
But the fact that you didn't have to have the whole internet buzzing about seeing when you have the four different villains all along the bottom, and the only person in the middle of it is Tom Holland's. I mean, you gave everything away. I wouldn't have had any idea from anywhere else. I could have saw that and go, that doesn't make sense where they're placed. We took some things out.
Even the toys that came out, right? The toys came out that had the multiple Spider-Mans on the back of the wrapping.
I didn't even know about that.
I was just like, y'all are killing me.
Okay, Shane.
All right, Shane, it's you.
Okay.
You got the floor.
So just give me 2 minutes here. First off, we run a podcast where we basically speculated for a month or two on what all we were going to see in this movie. So we as a group digest as much Spider-Man information as we can. They don't build trailers for us. They don't. Like, they're not building trailers for like the hardcore Spider-Man fan. They're building trailers that are flashy and they're going to catch, the mom and the dad sitting on the couch watching a football game with their kids. Like, they're building trailers to bring other people in. If you don't want to be spoiled, then you shouldn't watch the trailer, period. They don't build them.
That's the point of a trailer. The trailer is not to be a... Go ahead, sorry.
But again, the trailer did not spoil the whole film. The trailer showed us the bad guys. It doesn't matter. They're recycled bad guys. Like, that didn't bother me. Obviously, we all could tell that they edited out Spider-Man, but we knew a year ago that the other two Spider-Man were going to be in the movie. Like, it wasn't a surprise to anyone. And even if they had not put the four villains in the trailer, everyone still knew that they were going to be in the movie. Like, so I don't understand where you're like, the trailer ruined it for me. No, we ruined it for each other when we as a collective whole spent the last year and a half finding every little source and scrap of information we could and then talking about it constantly. Like, that's what ruins movies. That's why they have to lock these scripts up and threaten people with lawsuits if they can't tell Tom Holland anything, like, because that's what we do. We don't want it spoiled, but we also want to know every single thing. So again, if you want to give it an 8 because you digested too much information before, then give it an 8. I honestly don't care. Like, it was great. I loved it. Like Ace said, there wasn't a lot of things that were just like, holy cow. But that didn't bother me. It didn't feel like the movie needed it. The Doctor Strange stuff, if we want to get technical, every single scene was not in the trailer. Not every single time he showed up. Wasn't. I can think of one off the top of my head. When they come back down in there and they're locking people in the little cells, they didn't show that. So not every single scene. That's a fact.
So they didn't have the scene where he said, y'all need to Scooby-Doo this shit. They didn't have that in the trailer.
But they didn't show him locking them up. They didn't show him cycle in there and locking them up.
Yeah,
they didn't show that.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did.
They didn't.
So the person that just got finished,
just give it a 6. If you want to complain, then complain. Like,
no.
I don't really care what you want to rate it. If you want to give it an 8 because you digested too much, that's your own fault.
This is how you know. This is how you know you're wrong. This is how you know you're wrong.
Get off the internet and stop watching trailers if you want to bitch about it.
How you know you're wrong? That's how you know you're wrong.
It's so ridiculous.
Because you won't let me talk.
Go ahead and talk. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna take me and you out of this.
Ridiculous.
This from the person that just got done saying that, oh, we sit up here and watch all these trailers. So if you watched all the trailers like you just said, the ones that were put out there, that scene was in the trailer. So if you talking about fact, not feelings,
what trailer was it in?
You have access.
I don't remember that part.
You don't have to remember. This is where the fact part comes in. No, because you can go to YouTube and go to Marvel and pull up the Spider-Man trailers, and you'll see every single.
And it's not every single scene. Okay. It's not every single scene.
And just like I said, the only scene that wasn't in there was the one where
just take me out of this. It's just not. It's just wait. So there was a scene where he wasn't in there. What scene was that?
Exactly what I said in the beginning. If you would have listened to my point,
I tuned you out as soon as you started. Go ahead.
See, then that's your fault that you don't listen because
you said every single scene. So now you're saying but one. So what's the but one?
So when you bring when Bonnie and Jared,
what's the but one?
The but one is when he came back from the place that Spider-Man left him. That's what I said.
Okay, so if there's one but one, I'm betting there's probably a but 2 or but 3. But whatever.
There wasn't. No, back to your other point.
What was my other point?
Your other point. You said that I shouldn't have went and looked for anything. I didn't look.
Did you watch the trailer? Did you watch the new Rockstars podcast?
You just asked me a question, right?
So
this is the part where I answer.
Okay. So when you wasn't actually asking you a question, I was stating something, but that's fine.
Here goes my response. So, like you said,
eager.
The trailers are built to get people in the theater. That's what the trailers are for.
Yeah, they're not built to get us into the theater because we're going to the theater no matter what.
You want to let me talk? I let you get your whole 2 minutes out. I let you get your whole 2 minutes out and didn't say that.
Go ahead.
Okay. So back to what you said. I personally didn't go and watch any Spider-Man trailer. I watched one trailer. When the TV spots came, that was not me looking for stuff. And even when the TV spots came, I turned away because when I am sold on a movie, I don't need to see any more trailers. So my thing is, yes, because of the fact that we have been watching Marvel movies for over 10 years, they are making these trailers for us. They're not making it. They don't care about the casual fan anymore, which is why we're in the multiverse, which is why we're doing Eternals and stuff like that. So the Spider-Man trailers are for us as fans. So you talking about that they only for the people that the mom and pop sitting on the couch. No. The trailers were for us. So secondly, I didn't go searching for the trailer. If the TV spots are being played on the TV during football games and other things that I watch, that's not me actively going to look for it. If I would have went on the internet, like you said, which I didn't.
Oh, so you didn't click on the trailer when we put it in the group chat and watch it?
Did not.
You waited until it magically popped up on a random TV show?
Yeah.
You did not. You You did not watch. You did
That's
not watch
another
any
thing where
trailer.
it's fact, not fiction, because that was in the group
That's
text.
feelings, not fiction. Are we changing it? Are you going to get 2 shirts?
I didn't watch the trailer. I watched one trailer.
Well, you just said I didn't watch the trailer. I watched one trailer.
He didn't. He saw it on TV when it rolled through.
So you watched a TV spot. You didn't watch the trailer. Either of the 2 trailers.
I said I didn't actively go and look for a trailer. If I'm watching TV, watching a TV show, and they flash a TV spot on, that is not me looking for the trailer.
Okay.
That's what I said. So again, I don't know where you're twisting up my words. I personally went to go watch one trailer. That's what I said.
And moving on to the cutscene at the end.
You mean the trailer?
How do we feel about the
leaving a spot?
Doctor Strange multiverse
the Doctor Strange trailer they gave us?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about Venom leaving a piece
smudge.
of himself.
I thought that was interesting because I liked the actor who played the bartender, but I just thought the scene was wasted. I thought he should some sort of cameo maybe, because they teased that up so well in the end of Venom. So I would have expected him to be in the movie and not just a cutscene. I thought that was wasted.
I think we're gonna get like a different version of Venom in this universe. And hopefully it actually kind of stems from the actual story that, you know, Spider-Man originally had him. That's how Venom got certain powers. And then that's why Venom's always trying to get back to him.
Where was that actor from? I recognized him.
He's from our show, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, I love that. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
The
life.
there's also thoughts that we might get Scorpion, because he was also Venom at one point. If anybody didn't know that, that is a comic thing.
Okay.
So basically, what happens is he gets the Venom when he goes down to Tijuana. So he gets him on him, and then you know how it for Eddie Brock. It's the movie talked about how it was eating him from the inside out, just sucking on his life. Well, they get Venom off of him, but then he's like all decrepit and stuff. So he volunteers for the Scorpion.
Does he look like a scorpion?
In comics, he does. Yes.
Okay. I don't know Scorpion.
He's got like a scorpion tail, the whole thing.
I mean, it seems like a Spider-Man villain. So.
Oh, and also, what about the cameo of Daredevil? I was excited to see that.
The Daredevil was some of the best stuff they put out on Netflix. So.
Yeah, well, and that was one of the things that surprised me.
Well, that one, like I said, that one was my fault because I watched New Rockstars and I heard them kind of talking about it. So that one, that wasn't a big deal. I did like the fact that he caught the brick, though. I thought that was dope. Because like even when my kids went to go see it, they had no clue who it was, and I was like, bro, you gotta watch Daredevil. So that was a good introduction for them to like, okay, now I want to see what Daredevil is. So
I'm curious though, if they bring Daredevil back as a Disney Plus series, do they keep the existing cast? Because the existing cast was great.
I know.
So I'm just curious how they do that. Like, are we gonna retool Daredevil and basically like restart it? Are we gonna reboot it, or are they just gonna continue?
I think all of the characters are going to be retooled, which is why even Kingpin wasn't exactly the same. And the only reason why is because if you don't retool them, basically you're pushing people to go watch the Netflix series with the competitor. So that's why it's like, because again, spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen Hawkeye, the next iteration of Kingpin we see may be when he's blind, which is a comic book thing. So that is the reason why, like, that wasn't even the direction they were going in the Daredevil series.
Well, now I'm wondering too if we're gonna get to see maybe a appearance of Daredevil in Echo, because we know that's greenlit for 2022, right? As a series on Disney
Echo?
Plus.
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
Echo was in Hawkeye.
I haven't watched all the Hawkeyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know who
it doesn't bother me.
No, you're
talking
not.
about it.
It doesn't bother
So
me.
yeah, Echo is so in the comics though, she is the adopted daughter of Kingpin. And then they kind of redid that story in Hawkeye.
Yeah, she
But
was kind of like,
This is the chick
a
that
bad guy goes, and I think she goes good.
that's the chick that can't hear, right?
yes.
Right.
Okay,
And then
I
she
have
also
seen
has
that
a
far at
prosthetic
least.
leg.
Yes.
So she's getting her own show.
Right.
And then, of course, what we saw at the end of Hawkeye now makes me wonder what we're going to see with Kingpin. But then after seeing Spider-Man, I'm like, oh my gosh, now we're probably maybe we're going to get to see Daredevil in Echo.
I mean, even we saw like how close these two series were, because we saw the Rogers musical in Spider-Man, and we saw him swinging over the tree that was in the last episode of Hawkeye. So, you know, they're really close in proximity.
They are.
And so it makes sense why you saw Matt Murdock and then Kingpin in that area.
And not at the same time, though, because I think we should have saw something in Hawkeye with the whole multiverse thing happen.
We did. We saw that. We saw the blip. I wouldn't say we saw the multiverse.
Yeah.
Which was by far the best blip I've parlayed. That was incredible.
I agree.
You
guys need to watch Hawkeye. Sorry.
I know. I just every time I sit down to do it, I haven't done it.
Okay.
I
thought it was.
But I think it's really smart of them to tie in the Disney Plus stuff with the movies. Like, I mean, obviously it's a no-brainer, but it's really cool to see them doing it, and it's obviously super important because that keeps pushing people to Disney Plus.
I mean, it's the same thing. Star Wars, Marvel. I mean, I think they've got a formula that they like right now, and we're going to be popping them out like this for a while.
Well, and that's
Star
another
Wars
thing.
needs to learn how to do that.
With you saying the tie-in with the movies and the TV shows, because like the Doctor Strange preview that we got showed like America Chavez, and I know there's talks about her getting a show once again, kind of along with the She-Hulk and all that. So I mean, I love all these like little. I like the Easter eggs they're giving us. I just don't like when they give too much.
Yeah.
Bonnie,
So go ahead, Shane.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say we saw in the Multiverse of Madness trailer, we saw what looked like the What If Doctor Strange.
Yes. Yes.
100%. It was like that episode.
What is the other one? The other one looks funky.
And that black, like goopy looking stuff that was in the cartoon or the animated.
What was wrong with Wanda's fingers, Bonnie? What was that about? When she
that makes me think that she's using the Darkhold, because we saw in the last in the last episodes of WandaVision when Agnes is using it, her fingers were dark.
The weird
and I
purple,
think it has to do with using the Darkhold. So
Okay,
I'm
so it's
thinking
what
that
she's
she's using
using.
the Darkhold.
Okay. I was just curious. I noticed her fingers, the tips of her fingers are black, and I was like, what's that about?
Yeah, and I saw some people doing some like videos on it, kind of giving their stuff, but yeah, I still think it has to do with the Darkhold.
That's what
I still think
I want more WandaVision series.
I do too.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the series that they've been making.
Yeah.
Well, and like, because honestly, I did think that WandaVision was going to be more of House of M, but now I'm kind of getting that we're building up to House of M with maybe Multiverse of Madness. I don't know if they'll follow the exact route, but I know within her whole journey, that's the one thing about Scarlet Witch's character in general is she never really has a happy ending, right? And she's always searching for her kids. And so I'm wondering if we're going to get to see that journey. And maybe this is why she's willing to help and use the Darkhold with Doctor Strange. Maybe it's for her own, because she's trying to find her happiness, wants to find her kids, maybe wants to find Vision. Like that's what I think they're going to start showing.
Well, you need to give us a season 2.
I was just going to ask, do you think that in Multiverse of Madness, do you think that she may be going to the darker side, and what pulls her back is we see White Vision come back?
I mean, that would be cool, but it's that once again, that's where when I say I think they're building House of M, is it's actually Doctor Strange that pulls her out, not Vision. But in that comic, Vision's dead. There's no White Vision there. He's gone, which sends her down this spiral.
Yeah,
there are other comics.
They could change it up.
There's other comics though where White Vision actually they go into a multiverse and he actually like takes over another body and he becomes Vision again.
Isn't the West Coast Avengers? Is that what it is?
He stays the White Vision for that, I think, right? Bonnie?
Yeah.
Not that I know of, yeah, just the White Vision and West Coast Avengers.
At
And it's
some point,
sad.
though, outside of the Avengers, him and Wanda go through to another dimension, and he ends up.
And
there's lots.
Yeah, and there's like even a story about he marries another girl that looks like a Vision girl, but he still has these visions about Wanda. And that's where the whole Sparky died thing was actually from Vision comics, not from. Anyways, there's just like a lot. I'm thinking my thoughts are, what are they doing with Scarlet Witch's character? And I think we're going to start seeing her go more bad than good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I want another season.
We came a long ways from Spider-Man, but
yeah, we really did. We went down that rabbit trail.
I wanted to mention the Doctor Strange thing because I mean I loved that we got that trailer. I was so excited.
It was really cool too. I like the idea of giving us a trailer too instead of just like a little blurb. Yes. Like I loved a trailer right there. I thought it was really cool.
Because especially for those people who left the theater thinking there was only one cutscene, and then once it was out after the first weekend of the movie, then they released the Doctor Strange trailer. So I thought that was pretty smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
with
I hope
Marvel,
they keep
you
doing
always stick around till the credits are gone.
Always. We
100%.
always Google to see how many cutscenes there are.
This is crazy. My son calls me after he leaves the movie. Well, he was walking out of the theater. I said, "Yo, did you watch both cutscenes?" He said, "Wait, there's another one." I said, "Yeah." I hear him going. Excuse me. I hear him going back in the theater. I was like, "Son, you come on now."
I'm talking better than this.
Always got to wait. A bunch of people, like half the theater left after the first one when we watched it, and the people beside us, and I was like, "There's one more," and they sat back down. So
I think they've only done like one movie where they didn't have a cut scene, and that was Infinity War.
Yeah, it just said Avengers were
returned or whatever it was.
Like that. Yeah,
that was. Anyways, I know that's off topic, but that was probably one of the most ominous exits I've ever exited from a Marvel movie. That was
not a happy time.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Matrix. Yeah. Well, we got some time. Let's hit that.
Just real quick, because I know y'all trying to get to The Witcher.
My Neo looks like he's like holding the rabbit up. I just noticed.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Yep.
That was so nice.
The white rabbit.
Yes.
And he is a white rabbit.
Yeah,
he is a white rabbit.
Cool.
That was totally accident too.
Totally planned.
He's taking the rabbit. Anyways, yes. Okay, who wants to start out with this?
I would just say that I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know this movie was definitely, and this is just reference, Shane, and just reference. This movie was literally the last Jedi of the Matrix. There was a lot of people that loved it and a lot of people that hated it.
Yeah. But isn't that the last? Well, I don't know that there's a lot of people that love the last two movies.
No. I love I know I'm on an island by myself on this. Matrix 2, Matrix Reloaded is the best out of all of them. Matrix Revolutions is trash. So 3 doesn't exist to me. It goes 1, 2, and 4 to me.
Okay.
There were elements in 3 that I liked, but my thing is how can you have a movie about Neo and he's not in the movie for half the movie? That bothered me. And then the last fight scene with them fighting, they're not that's not Superman or whatever. Like, take it back to the element of them having the street fight. It's them two. But
you didn't need 100,000 of the
Right. You sure?
So, but no, I enjoyed Matrix 4. I thought the idea of making Thomas Anderson believe that he created the Matrix, and that the reason why he was having visions is because of the fact that he made this super popular game, and that they were trying to convince him, like, no, the reason why it's so real to you is because you believe in this game. And the fact that, Doogie Howser was so arrogant that he would put Trinity and Neo together to make them just cross paths. Like, that was so arrogant. That's such a villainous thing. So I thought that was great writing.
Yes.
I agree.
I loved the whole like thought process on them together.
You can't just say garbage and not
yeah,
back
Phil
it up.
didn't like it at all. But he has this whole thing where like the Matrix was that, you know, the real world and the machine world and this other. I'm like, you're confusing me.
What?
Yeah, he's weird. But my thought process is I like that Trinity and Neo together and the power that they have. I was like,
right.
That was cool seeing that.
The only problem that was my flaw what made it an 8.
Of course you would.
Well, the reason what I'm saying is, so Neo had these spurts where he would get his power back, but he never got to full power, right? And so it was like Trinity got it first. And I can understand because they rebuilt them and they basically created them together, why she could have the same power as him. Because because if you really think back to the first Matrix, it was her love that brought him back. So you can easily see how that was all about them two, their love together. So that was fine. But I just was a little disappointed that she got the power first when his mind was being she didn't get awakened until later on. And he was getting awakened this whole time and he just couldn't get his power back. I thought that was a little disappointing.
Because girls are better than boys. I said it.
I felt like that made more sense to me because he's battling the whole time that he's crazy as crap.
And she's like, I'm the shiznit.
But the whole point of the spoon in the first one was there is no spoon. And he's like, how does he make it bend? It doesn't make sense.
But I'm just saying, like, he started to see the stuff earlier. You know, they had to, and you know, they told how they had to bypass the whole thing of her actually being why she didn't have to take the red pill or whatever. They explained all of that well, like all of that stuff was done well. But I just, like I said, you would see him like when he was fighting Morpheus inside the simulation, and that burst of energy that pulled, and they was like, yo, what was that? And they was like, shoot, that was Neo. Like the fact that he would have these flashes of his power, but then at the end he couldn't fly. It was just like, I don't know. That felt like the lightsaber flying over and we thought Luke was gonna catch it, but it was actually Rey. That's what that felt like to me.
I can see that.
Bringing up painful memories for me.
I don't see it.
To me, it's a setup. It's a setup for what's coming, and I'm just hoping we get what's coming.
Yes.
That's my thing with these movies. Like, obviously, it's not a critical success. Like, it's hit and miss with the fans. So to me, just my biggest takeaway is I want to see where they were going, and that's my thing. Like when we watch Dune, like it's clear it's a movie that's built for a sequel or sequels, and like in these instances, like I just want to see the next one. Like, just promise me that we'll get another one. That's all I want. I want HBO to just give us one more and, you know, at least finish this, because it just felt like it's a setup. Like it felt like we're rebuilding, you know, we're reestablishing the universe. We're trying to forget what we did with 3. And where are we going? And so to me on these ends, I want the next one. I really, really want the next one. That's my takeaway. I enjoyed it. I like it, but I want to see where it's going. I love Keanu Reeves. Like, I'm just a sucker for anything he does. I'd watch a John Wick 1000 if they keep doing it. So yeah. I love Keanu Reeves, and I liked having Trinity back to, like, it just felt good. And again, I just want to see it. Like, the end of The Matrix 1 was my favorite, when Neo gets his powers and you finally see him just get to be like totally badass. And I just want a movie where Neo and them are just kick ass.
And that's why I love 2 so much, because we got to see him at full power, and that was my thing. So, like you said, this was almost like a reboot of the franchise. Like, my kids had to watch all 3 movies before they went and watched this one, and so I'm kind. It felt like, you know, how we looked at The Force Awakens, where it was like this kind of felt like A New Hope. That's what this kind of felt like we were reintroducing the Matrix. And so I get it. I enjoyed it, but I would have preferred to see Neo know how to use all this stuff. That's my own thing.
How did you feel about them saying that, you know, like the Oracle was purged and the Architect was purged?
I'm fine with that. I thought
I don't want another Oracle. And
I just feel like
Oracle.
I just feel like they modernized everything. Like even with how Morpheus was an AI simulate, like he was like how the machines were working together in the new Zion or whatever. I thought everything was just updated properly. Like even how the agents were able to jump in people's bodies and you saw the Matrix eyes. Like I thought that was dope. So none of that stuff bothered me because it was explained well. You know what I'm saying? I do.
Bill is not having a good time over here.
He hated it.
Could he be more
we've
negative?
had like almost divorce arguments over this movie.
Now I still don't understand how Doogie got control. Like he became the new architect. I don't quite get that. I didn't quite get the end.
I mean, he basically was given the power by whatever the machine god is now. But I thought that was the architect. That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Who gave him the power?
It felt like he bought it or he auctioned it, or maybe he was the one that was a part of the deletion process of the Oracle, like phasing out those old programs.
Right.
So because the way they were saying it was like the Oracle she was a program, but she was like not a virus, but so to speak, like
like Internet Explorer. We're getting rid of it. We're sunsetting it. It's going away.
One thing I did love was that we had the little girl that ends up being, I can't remember her name though, but
she was like the new Oracle.
Yeah. And I really liked that.
Her name was Sunji, something like that.
It sounds right. Something like that.
Sunjay.
Yeah, I liked having her back. And they did a really good job of connecting the first one to this. So Neo, even though it was kind of trashed the way he kind of died, but at least I didn't see another control of the Matrix. I do like the fact that they at least fit it together. It didn't like not make sense of why we got what we got.
And immediately when I saw those new the machines that were helping him out, the ones that brought Neo from the pod, I was instantly thinking of Matrix toys because I was like, I want one of those so bad.
Right.
Or the machines that are on this, like the little bird looking one. Like I like that the machines were on the side of the humans too. Like you're seeing that, hey, we're kind of sick of the way our world is too. We're here to help you.
Now there's
humans that want to stay plugged in. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the fan servicey thing of seeing the Maravichian and his little cronies in when they fought. I thought that was hilarious. See, but they let them talk too long though. They let him talk too long.
They did. I liked having the Maravichian there. I didn't like the people that were with him though.
But those were the same dudes though. The only thing, if they would have brought the twins back,
turned me off though. That part kind of turned me off because it seemed like we went to like Cirque du Soleil or something, and it didn't fit like the normal.
And that was the thing too, that like that fight scene where he just kept getting beat up. I'm like, bro, he should know his powers by now.
Right.
And then that was the cheap line. Oh, I do know kung fu.
I still know kung fu.
Oh, I know. Some of those lines were so corny, but it's like I'm okay if Keanu Reeves says it.
Exactly. He can do no wrong.
He can. And neither can the girl that plays Trinity. Like those two characters are
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss. And their chemistry was still there.
Yes.
Like the fact that they made it to where it's like if they touch hands, it's over. And I was just like, that is their chemistry was just there.
Yeah.
And another thing that people really was disappointed with all the recycled scenes, I thought all of that just made it feel connected, in my opinion.
I thought so. Yeah. Like his back flashes to stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is totally odd, but it's kind of like what we're getting with Boba Fett, where we're seeing the back flashes. Is there,
No, I'm ready to talk about that. I just thought about that.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna pop off here because I don't want to know yet.
Anyway.
Can I pop off?
I didn't mean to run you off. So if we're not done.
No, if y'all want to talk about Boba, I'm good.
We can talk about Witcher too.
I guess we'll save it for next time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go.
I think we're gonna. Yeah, that's fun.
Sorry.
Talk
Screwed us all
Boba,
up.
no Witcher. All right, see y'all later.
See you later.
Bye.
No, I stopped because I didn't want to spoil anything for it, but it's exactly what you said. Like they used when he's in the back of the tank and they flash back, they use those scenes. Like we see scenes from the old episodes.
Right.
And even the prequels, like we see all those different scenes and it just ties you into like where things are going. But then you're thinking about the past and I don't know. I enjoy the way they're doing it. So, but I didn't want to spoil anything for her.
No, I thought that, a lot of people's criticism. First of all, you already know I was not looking forward to Boba Fett. That was something we talked about that I just wasn't looking forward to it. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I even like the pacing. I'm fine with everything. A lot of people had issue with the fact that we were getting these flashbacks, and I'm like, bro, that is so Star Warsy. Shane, you and I read what's the Darth Vader and Anakin book? Lords of the Sith.
Lords of the Sith.
And that was something that happened to Anakin when he was in the bacta tank as Vader. He had flashbacks of Padme and him as Anakin, and the Emperor knew it, and he would play on that. And so I just thought that was so good that we got to visually see that when he was in the bacta tank, that he's having these visions. So I thought that was done very well. And of course, they answered the big question that everybody's always asked: how did he get out?
How did he get out?
Yeah, and they did it in a cool way. So like when we first reintroduce him in just totally spaced out. Thank you, dear God. When they first introduced him in Mandalorian, you're like, what's been going on with him for the last 30, 40 years, however long he's been. But it's really cool to see like we see what's going on now where he's taken over Tatooine and he's going through that process. But it's really cool to see like the time frame between when he came out of the Sarlacc pit and then when he first met the Mandalorian. Like I'm really enjoying what they're doing. Like the Sand People, like I'm really digging their culture. I'm really digging the way they've set this community up. Because there was an old, and it's not canon anymore, but there was an old Obi-Wan book, and they talked about Sand People in that book, and it kind of gave you a little bit of like the like their wrappings and stuff. It gave you a little bit of the backstory, and so the Sand People are neat because we've seen them like in all the trilogies except the new ones. We've seen them in the older trilogies, but we've never really explored it, and I think they're a really cool it's a really cool thing to see him like get integrated into their culture, and I like it too that like we don't really understand what they're saying. We don't have subtitles. It's, it's hand gestures and we see them like him learning to communicate with them. And like, I loved episode 2. Like I liked episode 1, but I thought episode 2 was a really cool, like step forward. It was neat to see the huts and you see where they're going, the big bad, how that's building, but you also still like, you get all the stuff of how he learned, how he got his stick and stuff like that. And basically how he gets accepted into the tribe. I'm really, really enjoying it. I didn't have high expectations for it. But it's really catching me. Like I'm really enjoying it. I don't know that I'm enjoying it as much as Mandalorian, but it's like, I love it. I can't wait for the next episode. Like I'm into it. So it's working for me.
Did either of you guys recognize who the Black Wookiee was?
No, not at all. Okay.
So they said about 3% of people would know who this was. Like this is a real comic book cameo. So his name is like Black Krrsantan. He's actually him and Boba Fett used to work together under Vader. When they and also he also is connected to Dr. Aphra. So they have backstory. So like some people, it's almost like how you guys, whoever like Joey and them like freaked out with the crate dragon, and I had like no clue. It's kind of that same thing that was like a huge Easter egg for people who really watched who are really into the comic, because him and Boba actually had history. So
that's really cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was no idea.
Yeah,
Dr. Aphra is a huge comic book character, and she's around in the Darth Vader. So that's interesting because
because they talked about her being live action.
Yes, so that's interesting because it'd be easy to introduce her into this Boba thing, and then if you needed to, you could spin her off into a Dr. Aphra series. And there's a lot of Dr. Aphra fans out there.
And people, people just popped when that Wookiee came on because, he he commanded the screen. Like he
He was,
I mean, just like how the Hutts did. But
Yeah.
when it was on him, it was like, yo, I gotta see this dude fight.
I can't wait till their fight because you know it's going to happen. Like it's guaranteed they're going to fight. I'm all about it.
Now, I will say we talked about this also with this series. We talked about the fact that Cad Bane should at least make some sort of appearance.
Should.
But I would be less surprised if Windu did make an appearance in this series. Because what was one of the things that he thought about in the Bapta tank? Watching his dad get
watching
cut
his
off.
dad die.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
So it would make sense to me that he's in this forgiving state that somehow he was able to forgive Mace for killing his dad.
That would take a lot of forgiving because I think his whole identity was built.
I was about to say,
anyway.
I think that's what set him on what he was doing. I thought.
True, but I mean, look how old he is now, and how old Mace would actually be, and you know, especially depending on what kind of threats is out there, and it's almost like, you know, when we look at Luke, right? We weren't expecting to see Luke in The Mandalorian,
Right.
And so that was like it was one of those. It's not even so much that we saw Luke; it was the fact that it made sense that it was Luke. So what I'm saying is, if we saw any cameo of any Jedi, it would make sense for it to be Mace Windu.
And it would be huge.
Yeah, because we never saw him die. We know that other Jedi have had limbs cut off, and we know that Jedi can fall from that distance and not be dead. So it just and it ties into the story, the overall story of Boba Fett. It just makes sense that he would be in the series.
I never considered it, but it would be absolutely amazing. And it would have that same level as Luke did when you saw him in The Mandalorian, how it just took over. Like, you know, if we get towards the end and we see Mace Windu, like it would catch like on the internet. It'd be all over the place.
But it wouldn't just be a forced cameo. It would make sense for the story.
Yeah. And you can continue that on. This could be your way of reintroducing him into the story, because you could easily have him be part of the story. I mean, and you could easily work that into him coming back in season 2.
Well, the other thing is, and I'm sorry, Jared, just real quick.
You're good.
The other thing too is that because you can answer the question of where Mace has been, like why? Because Order 66 happened, so it would make sense why he would be in hiding, and of course he's got to get his limbs fixed. Like there's a lot of stuff that he could have been doing. I don't. Maybe he thought he doesn't know what happened to. I mean, he's probably on the HoloNets just learning that the Jedi are being destroyed and outcasted, and so it just would make sense.
Well, you remember, was it Obi-Wan who changed the signal that was broadcasting from the temple that said basically that the Jedi Order is fallen, go into hiding. Yeah. So it would make sense that he would just go underground. And he wouldn't know where Obi-Wan went, because obviously he doesn't know about the twins. You know, so you know, if he's busy getting fixed and all that, it makes sense that he could easily go back and see Yoda, but Yoda could just say like, you know, bro, we're in hiding. So again, I think you could do it. It could make sense, and it'd be really cool. You got me excited.
I'm gonna say I think it would make sense. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
it won't happen.
I mean, it may not.
The only way
as much as we like Mace, the fan base that's not the character they want to see come back.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? There are two things. The only reason why I won't say that it's 100% is because when they showed the scene, they never showed Mace do it. You know, in his flashback,
we just saw the helmet.
We just saw the helmet. The other thing, the reason why I would be almost like, okay, I could see it happening, is because Disney does love to recycle the characters that they use. So the fact that he's still a Marvel attachment, it would be nothing for him to do a scene. So and plus, Sam Jackson has definitely expressed his interest in coming back, and Favreau is a Marvel dude. Like that's what I'm saying is Favreau would be the one to do it. I can understand if this was just like a movie we're talking about it's one thing, but you're talking about Filoni and Favreau. Those would be the two that would creatively be able to do it and make it work. That's
Filoni knows how to do it and make it seamless. So, I mean, if they're going to do it, this is the avenue to do it in. It doesn't have to necessarily be this series, but I'm just saying, like, Disney Plus is the way to reintroduce him if you're going to do it. I have no idea if they will. And there will be plenty of people who'd be excited purely from the Samuel L. Jackson standpoint because he's a popular character.
I would take a 7-8 series of Disney Plus of Mace.
That'd be so cool.
Like they're doing for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I mean,
that'd be so cool.
I don't know.
That would be a perfect segue because then you could have, just like how we're having the flashbacks of what happened to Boba to get him to that point, you could have what happened to Mace from the point of impact of him, flying through the window. Like, it's so many possibilities.
And you can do it, and it doesn't feel like we're doing the same thing with Obi-Wan, though, where we're finding out what happened here. I mean, if it feels the same, then no, it'll.
But look at the direct correlation between Boba, because when we see Boba in Return of the Jedi, what is it? He goes in the Sarlacc pit, and we're supposed to assume he's dead, right? Like that's how his character's supposed to go out. But there was nothing, from a film standpoint that ever showed that Boba Fett didn't die in the Sarlacc pit. But all the fans were like, "We love Boba Fett," and for years people were like, "Oh, he came back." You had fan fiction, and then you had books and all that. And what happens? He crawls out, and now he's back. So I mean, like. From that standpoint, like Ace has always said, we never saw him die. It would not be hard for him not to have died down there. And it would make sense.
But people want to know what happened to Boba because we know that the Sarlacc, it takes 1,000 years to be digested. Yeah. So what could have happened in that? I mean,
yeah. But I'm saying,
like, he was down there.
You can equate that directly to Mace's story too, though. Like, where was he during, 4, 5, and 6? Like, I mean, you could easily like show us what happened. And he's a cool character, and obviously he's still a big name actor. So if you could, and I feel like he'd be willing to do it.
I mean, you definitely got the time frame for the look, anyways.
Yeah, because I mean, he's the right age for it, and he's still Samuel L. Jackson. So I'm enjoying the series. I mean, I thought 2 was better than 1. I really enjoyed this episode. I really like where they're going with it. So,
yeah, I'm digging it.
I'm kind of done with the sand people, though. I could be done with that part.
I'm digging it.
Yeah. I like that
I just think that now that he has the garb, they had the little ceremonial dance. I don't think I just don't think there's anything else we really need to show from that. There's other things that have happened to him, like how did he get to where Fennec was to find her? Like we need to get to those flashbacks. So
I don't know if we're done with the sand people. I feel like that's going to keep going. I could be totally wrong.
I don't know.
I have no idea. But I'm with you.
It doesn't seem like they're just going to run into town and fight for him, though. That's not sand people way.
No, I mean they would really have to flesh out that. Basically he would have to lead the tribe, and then something would have to, or he'd have to go away for him. Because I was thinking that, are they going to use the Sand People as his army? Because he doesn't have an army, and he's going to need one to fight the Hutts. So I'm just curious, like, is that what they're building towards? Because
what I'm saying is though that Sand People they stay on the outskirts. They never come into town. They don't do any of that stuff. They're pot shot you from a mile away or something.
That's why I'm curious. I'm really curious to see where they're going. So, because he needs to build up his retinue. So I thought it was cool too, or funny, where they dropped him down there, and you thought, or they're trying to make people think that they're going to bring out the Rancor, but obviously there's nothing down there. So
that's the thing, though, right? They set it up. The reason where their setup was from Bad Batch, because in Bad Batch they found a new Rancor that Bid Fortuna came and got from Fennec.
Right.
So it would have made sense for them to have Moochie. That was the name of the Rancor.
To have him down there.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome, actually.
It would have been cool. That would have been actually really cool.
And the last thing, because I know we're trying to get off, the other cameo that we should see from Bad Batch is Lil Mama.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of her name.
Omega.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be cool, and that gets more eyes. That gets more eyes on Bad Batch.
Yeah,
because people are going to want to know about Omega.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if they say I'm your sister. If she says that, then people are going to be like, "Wait, what?"
Oh yeah, and it makes perfect sense though.
She's your sister.
So, I'm all about it. I'm enjoying it. We got what, six more episodes?
No, 5. Thought it was only 7 episodes.
I don't remember. 7 sounds right to me.
I have no clue. So, but I'm here for it. So,
I'm excited.
Yep.
Love you guys. Love all you out there that
Good
are
to be back.
hanging out with us. I'm glad I'm back.
Appreciate all those facts today, Ace.
Of course, brother. Nothing but love.
And I appreciate your feelings, Ginger.
Oh, there's always feelings over here. I may not be spewing facts, but there's always feelings.
It's all good. Nothing but love.
Love you guys. Thank you guys. We're the Marauders. Thursday, 7:30. We're out.